Through several personal experiences of filmmaking, the process of editing's significance had become very clear. There were several films that I made in which, looking back, I noticed several editing flaws that could have easily been fixed. Through each film project, it became more clear how to edit in a competent manner, and in several experiences of films, I noticed editing errors which I discovered how to fix. This is an example from Goodfellas by Martin Scorsese.
You want me to be your partner? Yeah. That's what you're trying to tell me. You want me to be your partner?
Yeah, what the fuck you think I'm talking about, Paulie? Please, come on.
It's not even fair, no?
You don't understand. The joint is over.
Oh, you run.
If we look back at the shot, we can see the error. We see here that Paulie has a cigar in his mouth, but then in the next shot, the cigar is gone. It would seem as though a director as competent as Martin Scorsese would not have allowed an error like this to have been made. I went through this video and found a way to fix the error and not have this continuity mistake, as I will show to you now. There were several things I needed to sort in order to make the continuity of this scene work. The main thing, of course, being Paulie's cigar and making it move away rather than simply disappear as happened in the film. I did this by taking a clip from a few moments before of where Paulie places the cigar into his mouth. I then reversed this clip so it looks like Paulie is taking the cigar out of his mouth. I needed to place this shot at a point where Paulie was not talking, because otherwise that would have messed around with continuity, as Paulie would have been heard talking, but on screen he was not. Therefore, I placed this at a point where he was listening. This, however, meant that there would be a shot where Paulie had the cigar in his mouth and was talking before we see the shot of him with the cigar out of his mouth. What I did is that I took the shot of Paulie from behind and then zoomed into the other character's face, to the point where Paulie was not in the frame, and therefore the continuity would work, as we saw Paulie take the cigar out of his mouth, we cut to the other character, and then cut back to Paulie without the cigar in his mouth. Originally, there was a shot of Paulie taking the cigar out of his mouth, which cut straight to another face-on shot of Paulie, which would not make sense in a case of continuity, as it was a jump cut. With this small piece of editing, I feel that I have correctly fixed an editing flaw in what is considered one of the greatest movies of all time.
You want me to be your partner? Yeah. That's what you're trying to tell me. You want me to be your partner?
Yeah, what the fuck you think I'm talking about, Paulie? Please, come on.
It's not even fair, no?
You don't understand. The joint is over.
Oh, you run the joint.
One of the key directors that did influence me was Stanley Kubrick. I will show a clip of his film The Shining here, and then explain how he influenced me in my editing. As we see, this lengthy shot puts us in a position of stability. We follow the boy on the tricycle, and it establishes us in a rhythm. However, when he sees the ghosts of the two girls, the shot changes. The fact that the shot changes implies that the scene has changed, because as the kid cycled through the building, all was the same. All that changed were the rooms, but we still had the same shot. Once the children appeared, the shot also changed, implying the situation was now different. This influenced a short film that I made that I will show to you now. As we can see, when Adam leaves the house, the shot changes because the continuity is broken. As he goes down the stairs, it is a simple repetitive pattern, so there is no need for the shot to change, and again, it builds up a form of stability. However, once he leaves the house, the shot changes, implying to the viewer that the situation has changed, which it indeed has, as we see Jake's character next to him, who then comes towards him, implying a case of tension. The use of one long shot also makes us feel like we're with Adam's character. We feel as if we're in the same position as him. However, cutting to a shot in a completely different position, where we are a lot further away from him, makes the audience uncomfortable, as they no longer feel like they are alongside him, but they are further away from him, implying that he is unsafe.
This shot here is another example of continuity editing. At first I decided to leave the shot and felt that this was the final product. However, in looking back, I soon noticed that it did not work, as it would not make sense for the character to stand around for a few seconds. I decided to go back and change the shot, which ended up looking out like this. This proved valuable as I felt that I would therefore need to make sure to check everything thoroughly rather than just assume it would be satisfactory, as sometimes this can only be seen when the final product is made. I needed to make sure that errors were noticed in the editing process, because if they are not noticed then they will be noticed when it is too late. One form of editing that I used for the first time was the accelerated montage. I used this for a film in the style of Guy Ritchie, as it was a common one of his traits. Here is a clip of it from the film he made, Knives and Newspapers. I felt the montage worked well, but in putting several small, short clips together, I felt like the timing was wrong with some of them. I felt this issue was somewhat resolved in this film I made called The Nihilist, which I will show to you now. However, in some part I still feel that it could have been done better in terms of timing, as whilst these shots were of similar length, there was not necessarily a rhythm to them. I made sure to do this for the next film I made, called The Birds and the Trees. I felt in this one that the timing of the shots was done a lot better, as they were more reflective and worked well with the film. The shots of the animals were all brief, and I felt that the short timing of them was shared out evenly, which made them more effective, rather than different amounts of time as used in the previous ones.